My name is Dr. Cesare Warren. I am an associate professor of urban education and teacher education at Michigan State University, founder and CEO of Identity Educational Solutions, LLC, and I am the author of Centering Possibility in Black Education. I was inspired to write this book in 2019 as I spent some time in Harlem, in New York City, in residence as part of an academic fellowship there. And I read a book called Freedom Dreams. And the book is written by Robin D.G. Kelley. And in that book, he chronicles what was in the minds of activists, intellectuals, entertainers, who would identify themselves as part of the Black radical tradition. Centering Possibility in Black Education is a book that is for young people, for elders, for caregivers, for advocates, and for educators alike, all people who are interested in improving the education condition of Black children. It is a book that is written in the tradition of Black education as a field that has been committed to both documenting all of the ways that schooling in the U.S. has been an exercise in the dehumanization of Black children and Black people, but also how we have struggled against that dehumanization, how we have fought and persisted to realize versions and forms of schooling that are indeed enriching and inviting for Black children and Black educators. And so this book picks up there, which sort of brings me to my second point, which is that possibility determines the stretch of our doing and being in the world as Black people, not our problems. And as we think about the significance of anti-Blackness as incredibly compelling for helping us to understand the ways that schools are sites of pain and suffering for Black people, it is more compelling to consider what we could do when we lead with possibility rather than leading with our problems. And so I see that as incredibly important. And I think also that Blackness is full of possibility, that we recast and re-understand Blackness as not a thing to be escaped or disdained, but that it is a thing full of wonder and opportunity, and joy and healing. And so this book and this work is an invitation to turn into Blackness for joy and to reimagine nighttime as not something to be escaped while we wait for a morning to come for joy, but to really turn into the nighttime as its own project of joy. I wrote this book both during the pandemic, but also through a racial uprising as we came to understand the loss of George Floyd and his last words, "I can't breathe," and Breonna Taylor and all the folks who have lost their lives at the hands of police. We know what not being able to breathe is about. In this book, I wrote it with every image and every poem, every drawing and every story to be a breath of fresh air. Inhale, exhale as you read this book. I think it is a book that is going to encourage and motivate us to freedom dream. It's the substance of my freedom dream, and the teacher in me, my greatest desire is that whoever picks it up, that it will also inspire their freedom dreams.